Hello everybody, this is Tyler Person 20. I'm here with Spinosaurus Ken and Purple Orange. And we're gonna react to the strategist butt coverings by Feminist Frequency. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Alright, so let us
Yahtzee, zero punctuation. You had one video where you responded to like hate mail and you said, "Go team retard." That's like what this is. Feminist Frequency, go team retard.
Well, handsome, what are we waiting for?
If you want to get to know a character, learn about their interests, goals, or desires, their butt is probably not going to give you that information. It won't tell you much about who they are or what they're thinking or feeling at any given time. But video game designers often choose to put tremendous focus on the butts of certain characters while going to almost absurd lengths to avoid calling attention to the butts of others.
Because nobody wants to see guys' butts.
Effectively, yeah. That's the that is most of the bottom line about a lot of this.
Yeah.
But
So she wants to see some man ass. Is that what she's complaining about?
No, I'm not sure.
That's what she's making it sound like. Like there's not enough man ass in games.
Well, actually, I think she's saying there's too much women's. There's too many women's asses in games.
Yeah, because she's never, yeah, I know. She probably, well, I just totally butchered that language. Anyway, she always, her solution to everything is fucking don't make women do it or guys. So I guess.
Yeah, it's always whatever's happening to women in games, that's bad and wrong and needs to be the opposite until she shows the opposite, and then it's just like, oh shit, I hate that.
Yeah, exactly. Like she doesn't want there to be like more men in skimpy outfits. She wants she wants everyone to be fucking conservative. In the way they're dressed.
Yeah, it's the regressive left, isn't it?
Exactly. They don't want sexual freedom. They want sexual repression for everyone.
These carefully crafted choices developers make about camera angles and clothing significantly impact how players think about and relate to these characters.
Yeah. When I stare at someone's ass, I stop relating to them.
I don't understand this. It's just like, oh yeah, if you see someone who looks slightly different, then you're gonna view them in like a completely different light. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
If you judge people on their appearance, Anita, that might be true, but I don't.
But we can start with the destruction. So this is why it's destructive. If someone is what I would call testosterone-based, so this could be men normally, this could be a woman post-menopause, then what happens is that there are layers of protection against criticism causing them to act. And the purpose of criticism is to cause people to act. That's why women do it, especially to men, is to try to get you to change. And it doesn't get you to change your actions. It actually just changes the way you relate to the person who's criticizing you. And specifically, as you know already, Dennis, when someone criticizes you or any other man, the first thing that you do is you consider the source. And if you don't respect the source, then the criticism it's just unpleasant. It doesn't mean anything. It disappears. You don't even remember it. If you do respect the source, now it's got your attention. But it doesn't mean you're going to act on it. It means it's going to go to the second layer, right? So the first layer of protection is consider the source. Then the second layer is compare the criticism against your sense of yourself. And this is what's really different about what most people would consider the masculine and the feminine, because a woman would go survey other people to see how many other people think that about her as well. So it's a big difference. In men is that you check it against your sense of yourself. And I heard the music.
Their butt is probably not going to give you that information.
I tell you what, Anita, stop being Captain Obvious and give us some actual proper analysis. I, for one, have never understood how you reach all this fucking, like, points and shit. Like, how do you come to this conclusion that butts are somehow harming women in games? You know, people who don't exist in games. This always interests me. How do you come to these terrible, horrible conclusions? Because it's not just the feminism now, is it? There has to be something else. There has to be something in your brain that clicks. It's not very intelligent, but it clicks. You look at a bum in a video game and you just go, why are they showing me that? How am I supposed to know what the character's like? It's like you almost forget what they're saying. You just zone out of it, all the sound in the game. You know, there might be some, you know, voice acting, an important part, but then you look at the ass, you see a big ass looking at you, or a small ass, it doesn't matter. And then you just go, oh, ass, why is this here? Why am I seeing this? Ah. That says more.
Third-person games with female protagonists typically display those characters in a way that gives players a full-body view.
Okay.
A classic example of this is the original Tomb Raider games, which are presented from a third-person perspective where...
Yeah. No, I shit you not. She complains that the camera angle is centered on her butt, and it's actually not. It's centered at her shoulders.
But how many games are fucking in third person? Have you seen a bunch of tons of
places
characters?
a tremendous amount of emphasis on that part of her body.
Also, the screen is not centered there. If you divide this by 2, and then divide this by 2, I should say horizontal and vertical, which is how in Unreal Unity everyone does it. Third-person perspectives are also hard to make, I should mention, but let's look at the center. It's about here. That's the chest area. And that's usually where the, what is it? AAHM, something like that. Aim assist hit marker is what I mean. And this is more something in GTA 5 where there's that little plastic cube, or not plastic, purple cube inside of you that's like your reference point for aim assist, but even so, this is focused on her chest. Like, I know I'm not doing this conclusively, but even saying that would be extreme. I think they're focusing slightly above her head. I think I actually should take this image and divide it by 2, but that'd take a bit more work than I can do right now. I don't even know if I have
In dozens
GIMP
of third-person
right
games.
Whoops. Do I? Yes, I do. I mean, screw it. I'll
Places a tremendous amount of emphasis on that part of her
I guess
body.
here's the default running pause position. Pause. Wow. Let's get the snap tool up in here. This is by no means conclusive. I mean, I don't care if I'm a couple pixels off. Yeah, whatever. Save you. Okay. I'll save it. Oops, I drew on it. File, open. Documents, and reference image. This does show you the pixels, so let's look at it. 0, 0 to... What is the top right is actually what I want to know. This is about 813.1. 813 divided by 2 is about 400. Let's get to the upper 400s. And I was about correct. Wait, was I even? The x-axis doesn't matter in this because that doesn't really mean much. Although I did just reference this. Someone will probably talk to me about that. Let's see. Yeah, A12. Here is a more accurate one. Wait, what's the... Forgot what's the axis on here. Okay, so it's about 600 divided by 2. So let's get to the 300 area, which is the y-axis. Yes, the center of the screen is not her behind. It is her.
But how many games are fucking in third person? Have you seen a bunch of tons of characters?
Yeah.
But just because she has one that's supposed to be sexy, now it's intentional?
Yeah, but the problem is that what she says is, oh well, when it's to male characters, it's always over the shoulder, but when it's to female characters, it's it's not over the shoulder. But
What
actually,
about Dark
but
Souls?
for Tomb Raider, here, that doesn't make sense. It actually makes sense to not have it over the shoulder because because a lot of the gameplay it's free running and it's climbing.
It's because Mario 64. You were supposed to be staring at his ass. That's why he pulled back so much. You're supposed to be fucking jacking off to Mario's ass while you're playing fucking Mario 64. because it was zoomed back and it was centered on his ass. That's why. She's right, guys. She has us on this one.
Protagonist Lara Croft's entire body is visible. In these early Tomb Raider games, Lara's butt is typically right in the center. In dozens of third-person games with playable female characters, the character's butt is brought to the forefront, and that's where the player's focus is directed. In Batman Arkham City, for instance, the player's gaze is drawn to Catwoman's behind, which is emphasized by her costume and exaggerated hip sway. That we notice the protagonist's butt just before we take control. And
a cliche when it's used with women, but it's typically used to do like half of a reveal. It's like, oh, look who showed up. Legs outline, framing, everyone's surprised, and then they flip around and then they reveal who the fuck those legs belong to. That's usually the way it goes. Case in point.
Girl from earlier?
I mean, honestly, Anita, this is just composition. You taking offense to this is just fucking ridiculous. All they've done is find a creative way to create negative space for you to focus on what they want you to focus on. The fact that you've decided to stare at someone's ass is, again, it says more about you than it does about whoever framed that shot.
And here in Tomb Raider Underworld, to say that Lara's butt is being emphasized would be putting it mildly.
Yeah, if you're angling the fucking camera up her ass, like some sort of perverted Japanese businessman, fucking hell, Anita, what's going on with you, you creep? So do you really think we don't know how fucking cameras in games work? For anyone who doesn't, I can't imagine anyone's watching this who doesn't, but a quick explanation. Cameras are set to collide with objects in the game world because if they aren't set to collide, they end up going through assets like walls, which means you can't see your fucking character. So if you are a character on, say, a boat or any kind of plane and you angled the camera down, it would start hitting the floor, and when it hits the floor, it goes closer and closer to your character. This is a mechanic to ensure that you can see your character and you don't get stuck anywhere. This is not a mechanic for you to perv on the fucking protagonist.
Incredible. The carvings are clearly similar to early Germanic design, but this is far older than the 5th century.
See, you show it like that, but again, the focus is the room, not her, you fucking pervert.
It's something we're socialized to think is normal, and as such, it's something we often participate in without even meaning to. This is why challenging ourselves and reflecting on our own actions is a vital step in the process. But remember to be compassionate and patient with yourself, and keep working at it. This is by no means an exhaustive list of advice, but it should give you a place to start. Now, if you're feeling a little uneasy at this point, that might actually be a good sign. As men, I
don't know why I don't feel uneasy to this. I mean, you didn't project any evidence, so there's nothing to feel uneasy about. I was here.
If you want to get to know a character, learn about their interests, goals, or desires, their butt is probably not going to give you that information. It won't tell you much about who they are or what they're thinking or feeling at any given time.
What's that backpack?
But video game designers often choose to put tremendous focus on the butts of certain characters while going to almost absurd lengths to avoid calling attention to the butts of others. These carefully crafted choices developers make about camera angles and clothing significantly impact how players think about and relate to these about channeling attention to the butts of others. These carefully crafted choices developers make...
Oh! Analyze that very carefully. Carefully crafted choices that developers make. And this is where I'm brought to my point where they don't actually know what they're talking about.
If you want to get to know a character, learn about their interests, goals, or desires, their butt is probably not going to give you that information. It won't tell you much about who they are or what they're thinking or feeling at any given time. But video game designers...
There we go. Designers. She adds She adds devs and designers into the same general area. I can understand this from someone who's unprofessional, but she's projecting herself as professional. You should know the difference between a designer and a developer. Here's where I'm telling you it. A developer is someone who programs or adds logic to a game. They're the people who made Mario Jump, and they're the people who added the physics engine to Portal. I should say Half-Life 2, since that was a much more prominent physics engine. They're more people who focus on what the game is like rather than what the game looks like. A good idea of what I mean is the game Superhot. Superhot has very simple yet appealing geometry. Here's a teaser video that I'll mute. In this area, hold on, let it load. There is a prototype of this, by the way, so I would play this for you, but I'm not going to because the game is so awesome. Just buy this yourself when it's out. This game is excellent.
Oh shit, you know what? I'm gonna throw my bat at you. Bam, now I'm gonna grab your bat, and I'm gonna whack this guy. Can't get you out of my... Welcome everybody to Super Hot, if you can't tell by what's going on the screen right now. This is the backer beta version of the game. Basically, Kickstarter backers get early access to the game, and I am playing it right now because I fucking love this game. This game is amazing, and I just recorded like an hour of it, and it corrupted, and I'm not even mad because I just get to play it over again, so it should be fun. Anyways, I'm not going to explain what this game is all about. You guys are going to see it right away here. So, here we are. We're in game, and essentially... I guess I will explain it because it probably doesn't come right to mind right away. When you move, time moves. Now, it does slowly move, as you can see when I'm not moving, like a very slow amount. That's just to really judge where the bullets are coming from. But yeah, it's pretty much bullet time. It's like Matrix meets an FPS. Time moves only when you move, as you could clearly see. So we're gonna have a guy coming out here. Let's see if we can judge ahead of time. You do have to judge for bullet time. Shit, he actually stopped. So his bullet's gonna come at me. There we go. Kill them all. I will gladly. There's his bullet right there, going in extremely slow-mo. And we didn't hit him? Oh, yeah, we did hit him. He just got another shot off. Okay, motherfucker. Try and hit me, motherfucker. There you go. You got that one down as well. And that was the first level. That's essentially all the game is, but it gets more and more complex every level. And we got this nice little quick thing at the end here, which essentially takes away all the time that you stop. So it kind of shows you how you did. Which I did pretty good, I think. That wasn't a bad level.
Now... this is a genius idea, however, it's not beautiful. Even this is like a teaser. This isn't actually in here. Those are very advanced for it. Currently, there's very simple geometry, and I can understand that. The game is awesome, and it has very simple geometry. This is more of a coder's game. Now let's look at my second example. A story about my uncle. Now, I guess they don't know. It's abbreviated as Asamu in the actual game. Now, I'll show you some images of this, but before I even do it, this was the early art of the game. This is something a designer would do. Now, there is no real developer's standpoint to it, which is what I call it when you have a gimmick like time slows down when you slow down, or portals. This game is focused on its beauty. Look at that beauty. It's glorious, and I would also like to mention, aside from the point that I'm making, that this is like, people put so much work and she takes it so for granted. But, even so, this game, beautiful, period. But the concept is just, you have a grappling hook for a hand with limits. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's really a designer's game. Oh, here's one of the main characters. And, So that's a designer's game, and Superhot's a developer's game. She doesn't know these differences, which is one of my main points of this video.
Lengths to avoid calling attention to the butts of others. These carefully crafted choices developers make about camera angles and clothing significantly impact how players think about and relate to these characters.
Really? Because you just said it wouldn't tell you much about them.
Third-person games with female... In dozens of third-person games with playable female characters, the character's butt is brought to the forefront, and that's where the player's focus is directed. In Batman Arkham City, for instance, the player's gaze is drawn to Catwoman's behind, which is emphasized by her costume and exaggerated hip sway.
Okay, I can give you that. The last two at least. But I would like to mention first... Oh my god. Sorry. First, she's Catwoman. This is just something. She's very agile and she's very sexualized. I'll give you that one. Also, you shouldn't be complaining about video games for this, but whatever. Second, you just said it's drawn to the player's view. Where is the view centered? Right. At about that oil spill over there, whatever that is.
In these early Tomb Raider games, Lara's butt is typically right in the center of the screen. A camera orientation which, along with the sexualized clothing the designers choose to outfit her in, places a tremendous amount of emphasis on that part of her body.
The whole argument here is that you're looking in that direction, so therefore that's what they want you to look at.
She's not even trying anymore. Like, this is just blatantly stupid.
Wait, it was not once. It was at one point
like,
not really stupid.
No, but like she at least had like some level of like trying to reason.
Bullshit before it's just blatant bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like she had some level of reasoning, and like she wasn't so obviously like complaining about something that she totally made up. But now it's just like she's just fucking making. She looks at like a picture of like a smiley face and going like, oh, that smiley face wants to murder someone. Look at it. Like, oh, that was fucking weird. I don't really explain it, but.
In dozens of third-person games with playable female characters, the character's butt is brought to the forefront, and that's where the player's focus is directed. In Batman Arkham City, for instance...
Oh, yeah, now she shows a completely different example where it's off-center. Yes, good example, Anita. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, she thinks third-person view is meant to stare at people's asses.
So this one is actually over the shoulder. Even the character model is off center, but this is still exaggerating the butt.
Wow.
I think at this point it's obvious that it's just. It's very obvious that it's not. It's not that they are trying to make you look there, Anita. It's that you want to look there, and you're blaming it on them. No one can control where your eyes are.
The player's gaze is drawn to Catwoman's behind, which is emphasized by her costume and exaggerated hip sway.
No shit, Anita. Tell us something we don't know. You see, gamers don't tend to look at the ass to know what a character is like. We tend to know exactly what a character is like within like the first half hour of a game or something. We'll know if they're a whiny bitch-ass motherfucker in any, anime. Or there'll be a badass motherfucker like, Alan Jensen or something like, I never asked for any of this. I don't think game developers are putting the bums in there because they want to show something like what the character is like. I think it's just an aesthetic thing that has to be there because every human being has an ass. Okay? We all have an ass. Right? It has to be there. And there are big bums. There are small bums. There are medium-sized bums. There are fat bums. There are skinny bums. And they're not there to tell us anything about the character. It's just there because human characters have bums. Anthropomorphic animals who don't exist have bums. Hell, even real animals have bums. But I don't get it. What is the point of this?
What is that? What is that? On the right. What even the fucking is
she
that?
thinks we're supposed to stare at that thing's ass. Holy fuck, what an idiot. Also, on the left, you can barely see her ass. It's covered up mostly.
Yeah, it's covered by her fucking arm.
And the fucking letters. Like, the letters don't even... Like, the letters distract from it. And it goes over the top of her ass and the bottom. And there's also the fucking, the belt. You can barely see anything.
Women's butts are front and center, and it's even become a depressing joke that their bodies are twisted and contorted.
What's on the left? You can't see your ass on the left. What the fuck?
Yeah, she's leaning in to the point where you can't even see her.
And look at the one second to the left. You can't see anything. She's wearing black pants, and you can barely see her crack. She's really reaching here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole red alert, isn't that some kind of joke that they use attractive women on the front?
It's because of the like Soviet woman, like Russian women there's like this trope of them being kind of like sexual people, like very sexually open. Or like the Russian military woman being like sexy, and so that's kind of what they're playing on.
So that's more authentic rather than just a design choice out of the blue.
Yeah, exactly. There's reason they made it like that, and mostly has to do with propaganda.
In uncomfortable or unnatural ways, so that their breasts and butt can be visible in the same shot. In contrast, when men are depicted from behind, there's great effort taken to cover up their rear end.
False equivalence.
Because that's what men would rather see. People want to see. Men want to see men in action shots.
In a perfect world, and in Anita's perfect world, all men would be gay.
No, because gay men are misogynistic for not liking women.
Oh yeah. Then she'd regret it immediately once she gets what she wants.
Men cannot win. Men cannot win in feminism. Whatever they do, that's the thing you have to remember. There is no win situation for us. Even if all men die, they will blame the ghosts of men and blame men dying because now they can't solve all the problems that women have.
Fucking Tomb Raider is the biggest victim of this. They make her they make her outfit too skimpy. They complain. They make her outfit too conservative. They say they're trying to make her like a man. There's nothing you can fucking do.
If someone is what I would call testosterone-based, so this could be men normally, this could be a woman post-menopause, then what happens is that there are layers of protection against criticism causing them to act. And the purpose of criticism is to cause people to act. That's why women do it, especially to men, is to try to get you to change. And it doesn't get you to change your actions. It actually just changes the way you relate to the person who's criticizing you. And specifically, as you know already, Dennis, when someone criticizes you or any other man, the first thing that you do is you consider the source. And if you don't respect the source, then the criticism it's just unpleasant. It doesn't mean anything. It disappears. You don't even remember it. If you do respect the source, now it's got your attention. But it doesn't mean you're going to act on it. It means it's going to go to the second layer, right? So the first layer of protection is consider the source. Then the second layer is compare the criticism against your sense of yourself. And this is what's really different about what most people would consider the masculine and the feminine, because a woman would go survey other people to see how many other people think that about her as well. So it's a big difference. In men is that you check it against your sense of yourself. And I heard the music coming on. Should I pause right here?
Yes, thank you. This is unbelievably important. I'm speaking with Allison Armstrong. She comes on the show once every season. You were talking about a man receiving criticism, and the first thing that we men do is ask about the source. By the way, I resonate to that entirely. I am the recipient of vast amounts of awful, I wouldn't even say criticism as much as hate on the internet. As I've told people, I get this line a lot. Oh, Dennis, I love you, but you hear that all the time. I said, well, actually, why don't you check the internet and put in my name and a-hole, and you'll get 50,000 hits. So, but it doesn't have any effect on me. However, if somebody I love has a critical word to say, then it is very, very difficult. And I So I agree with you entirely, and it's probably, I assume, a healthy thing to do. Otherwise, if you take everybody's critique the same, you have to prioritize what's significant or not. Is that not right?
Well, yes, and to men it seems really obvious, and they tell women that all the time. When a woman's devastated by a criticism, he'll say, well, honey, just consider the source. She's an idiot, right? Or he's an idiot, or he doesn't know you, right? And he's very logical about it. But in to an estrogen-based organism, right? So women before menopause, we literally have no layers of protection half of the time. So, we're talk about the 4 layers of protection a man has. A woman, for the first half of her menstrual cycle, has no layers of protection. So the criticism just goes right into basically an action command center. It is immediately actionable, and sometimes she'll change, like just on the spot. She will change, or at most she might go and solicit. Do you think I'm that way? Do you think I'm that way? Do you think I'm that way? So as a woman, she's going to find out who else thinks that about her, right? It's like a committee decision. Whereas as a man, and thank goodness I'm past menopause, I love this thing, right? The second layer is, if you respect the source, then you take the criticism and you compare it against your sense of yourself. And this is something that women don't know, and they don't know what a profound effect it has at this stage. Because if you respect the source, and then you go to the next level of comparing the criticism against your sense of yourself, if you agree, if you're like, wow, they're right, somebody I respect, this is valid criticism, this is useful criticism, maybe, that's the third layer, right? This is valid criticism. Then, okay, proceed to the next layer. What is terrible, and what I mean terrible, I'm crushing, devastating, alienating, death to love and intimacy, is when you respect the source, and the source is your loved one, the source is your wife, the source is your daughter, your dad, your son, your brother, a business partner that you have enormous respect and admiration for, but especially if this is your wife. If you respect the source, which how you lose respect for your own wife, that's way down the line and a terrible thing, but we know how that happens. But if you respect the source and she says something critical, like, you don't care about what I care about. This is something a woman might toss off. Well, you just don't care about what I care about, right? Or you care more about other people than you care about me. That's a common thing that a woman would say to try to get a man to change what he's paying attention to. Well, he's going to check that against himself, and he's going to disagree because he's going to see everything that he does for her, every way that he's organized around taking care of her, everything that she cares about that he pays attention to just because she cares about it, not because he does. He's going to see all of this, and it's going to be crushing that she has that opinion about him. After everything I've done, everything I do, how could she think that about? And it's not going to cause him to change, which was the point of her remark, except for keep his distance, except for a loss of power and energy and love and intimacy and passion and closeness. It's horrible.
If women are so crushed by the criticism of strangers, why would they not then say, wow, what does my criticism do to my husband?
Yeah, that would be logical, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I've been paying more and more attention to brain science over the last few years since my husband did. Criticism is an impulse that comes from a very primitive part of the brain, the limbic system. Whereas logic and the observation that not only does this not cause the change I'm looking for, but actually causes a huge change that I don't want, therefore I should stop, that's going to happen in the prefrontal cortex. That's a higher consciousness. And people are not higher consciousness about criticism, neither men or women. They literally blurt it out. And that's why I'm challenging your listeners to if you just start to notice the impulse, even after you've had it, and blurted it out, or blurted it out inside your head, we're incredibly silently critical, right? We'll have that critical thought instead. If we can just start to notice how often that trigger goes off automatically, we're going to be far on our way to breaking the habit of criticizing each other. At the very least, criticizing out loud.
Right, but since you identified it with estrogen, do you find women more guilty of criticizing their loved one?
Well, that's the thing that's really interesting. Estrogen means no protection, right? It causes us to act, which is why we're so sensitive to criticism, and we use criticism to change people. Men actually don't recognize as criticism what to the woman in their life feels super critical.
All right, we'll continue. Allison Armstrong. The subject that Allison chose, and it is Allison who chose it, and it's a very important one, is criticism and how it is a sort of death knell in a relationship. And you're discussing, Allison, the way in which each sex takes it, what they do with it. And for men, it's particularly devastating when it comes from the person he most loves, or others. I mean, for example, if it's from a parent or a child, and you mentioned that as well. Obviously, there's an inner circle of people who can hurt you far more. But with women, criticism from any source can be very hurtful. Is that a fair summary thus far?
I would say actionable rather than hurtful. Mm-hmm. For a woman, criticism from anywhere can be actionable. It'll cause her to change, and it'll cause her to change what she does, how she speaks, laughs, what the clothes she wears, the color of her lipstick. She'll change her behavior, and worse, it'll affect her confidence, her self-confidence, and she'll become inauthentic. And those are the two most attractive qualities in women, confidence and authenticity.
Does either sex engage in criticizing the other one more than the other?
I think women tend to criticize men more because it causes a woman to change. They think it will cause a man to change. So whenever we don't like how something is, that impulse is very strong. But I would say that also women know that they criticize men more. They don't know why it doesn't work, but they know they do it. Men tend to be unaware that what they're saying has the effect of a criticism. Because to a man, what you guys say over and over again was, that wasn't a criticism. That was a statement of fact.
Give me an example of a typical male criticism.
Okay. Last week I was talking to someone from the Young Presidents Organization, a CEO, right? And he comes home and he walks in the door and literally just starts saying what doesn't work. That door isn't hung straight. It's stuck. That pile's still out in front. He just starts stating what he thinks shouldn't be that way. And to him, they're just statements of fact. He doesn't know that his wife is devastated because she holds herself accountable for the remodel of their house. And it's her fault that that door is stuck. And so he comes home from work and walks through the door to her. The occurring is he just walks in the door, criticize. And to him, he just walks in the door stating facts.
See, my wife is very lucky. I'm listening to this and I'm realizing, oh, God, did she luck out. You see, I don't even notice if there is a luck. So it's true. It is inconceivable I would critique anything in the house.
Well,
No. I know. That itself is criticizable. I understand that. The man is blind to all the changes that were made. I understand.
But he just names what doesn't work. The green beans are salty. if she made the green beans, to her that's a criticism.
Right. I got
So
you.
it has to do with her providing. But you asked about what if the criticism.
Yes. All right. Answer that when we come back, and we have calls. And whenever she's on, I feel that we don't have enough time. So that's the next question. What if there really is? So if there really is, then this obviously leads to a different question. How do you get the point across without sounding like you're criticizing? And is that patronizing? Back in a moment. Male-female hour. All right, everybody. Male-female hour, second hour Wednesdays. God, there's so many calls and there's so little time. No, it is. It's always painful. It's extra painful in this case. So what if a criticism is merited? What does the other person do?
Okay. So this is an interesting thing because you also asked the question, is there a way to express it? If it's valid, is there a way to express it?
Well, that's the question I'm really asking.
Yeah. Okay. Can I first tell you what normally happens, though?
Yes.
Just so all your listeners aren't going, but what are the other layers of protection? Right? So if it passes the consider the source test, right, with a man, and then it passes the I compare it to myself, and that's a valid criticism test. Then it goes to the second stage, which is the ROI, the return on investment test. So it's a valid criticism. What would it take to change that, and what would I get back from putting in the time and the effort to change it, right? So the return on investment. So let's say a woman says to her husband, "You're such a slob," and he looks around, right, and he sees the piles, and he sees the laundry, and he sees the dishes, and he thinks, yeah, she's right. And then he thinks about, okay, what would it take to change that? And he might think about the last time that he cleaned all that stuff up and how she didn't notice, she didn't appreciate it. She noticed, but she said, finally, instead of going, wow, this is amazing, thank you, this makes such a difference in my life. I can actually be more peaceful and enjoy spending time with you here. Oh, that's a good return on investment. But she didn't. She just went and went, ugh, finally. So, not worth doing. So it doesn't pass the worth doing test.
That is brilliant. That little soliloquy there was brilliant. Go on.
Thank you. Well, if it does pass the worth doing test, right? So he decides this is actually something I really ought to change. This is worth changing. I should do that. There's still one more test, and that's the timing test. And that's when should I do that? Is now a good time to do that? And if now is not a good time to do it, then it goes on the list of things that he should change. And a funny thing is if it doesn't pass the return on investment test, the worth it test, then yeah, nobody's perfect.
That's right. That's right.
Nobody's perfect. He just lets it go. Whereas estrogen, right, which has us organized around pleasing, you might notice that the masculine process is all about facts, right? Fact, respect, fact, compared to myself, fact, will it be worth it, fact, is this a good time, right? If you're in an estrogen base, it's all about pleasing. So there are no facts whether or not this is a good color on me. It's just whether or not it's pleasing to you, which is one of the things that makes it so actionable. There's no truth involved. It's all relative, and it's all who do I need to please the most. And if you're my protector, my provider, I need to please you, unless I give up that you're impossible to please. And then I'm just going to withdraw and not do anything.